Well, the United States has imposed sanctions on a dozen executives of the Russia-based cybersecurity firm Kaspersky Lab. The announcement comes a day after Washington unveiled plans to ban U.S. sales of the company's antivirus software on national security grounds. The Commerce Department said an investigation had found that Kaspersky's operations were vulnerable to Russian government influence, and the company's access to sensitive data could be exploited by Moscow for cyber attacks. Kaspersky says it will appeal. The Kremlin has accused Washington of unfair competition. Let's bring in Dennis-Kenji Kipker, a professor of IT security law at the Bremen University of Applied Scientists. Thank you so much for your time. How much of a risk would you say Kaspersky's antivirus software is?
Yeah, so if you look at the communication of all the US authorities, you can see that we are primarily talking about a lot of political assumptions and with that, of course, fear. So it is therefore less about what has happened in the past regarding cybersecurity and data privacy issues. It's more about what's to be feared in the future from a technical perspective. And in Germany, for example, the Federal Information Security Office, the BSI, as the most important cybersecurity authority of Germany, has also warned about Kaspersky in the past, in the year 2022, that serious consequences could occur if the software continues to be used. But so far, technically speaking, nothing has happened. So we are therefore talking a lot about risks here and about hypothetical possibilities. And it's also to mention that in the US, we do not see at the moment a whole ban of the software itself, but it's mostly about a Kaspersky antivirus software, which may not longer be offered on the US market. So to say, companies and private people still may use this software or the products, but of course, this will be difficult if the company no longer, for example, provides any kinds of updates on the US American market.
So why do you think they went after Kaspersky specifically? And could it potentially be used for spying and stealing information as U.S. authorities allege?
Yeah, so we are talking about antivirus software. We are talking about computer security software here. And antivirus software has definitely extensive rights to computer systems. And that is also the point the US government is making here. So the software, for example, and these examples are definitely mentioned, could be used to exploit security vulnerabilities, possibly create new ones, or not inform users about existing vulnerabilities or some kind of new malware. However, as I said before, these are often theoretical scenarios, so we cannot say if that has really happened in the past or if this is going to happen in the future. But it is definitely to say that the Americans come to this conclusion because they have realized in some way that Russia, of course, on one hand is at war, and on the other hand is not well disposed toward the United States. So accordingly, companies that have Russian origins or are based in Russia are viewed particularly critically at the moment, and the US assumes simply that a risk to national security is there if products are used in government agencies or critical infrastructures, for example. And now with that warning, they go a step further and they also say, well, it's about data privacy and cybersecurity of US American citizens they want to protect here.
Now, you mentioned also those consumer warnings here in Germany that were made 2 years ago against people here in Germany using Kaspersky software. Do you think what's happened in the United States will now also change what we're likely to see in terms of recommendations or laws being passed here in Germany?
Yeah, in my opinion, there is no concrete legal basis for a general ban on Kaspersky software in Germany. The most that can be done is to issue a warning against the software products. And this has already been done in the past 2 years ago. And here in Germany, too, of course, however, circumstances under which this warning was issued 2 years ago were disputed in the past. However, in the course of increasing geopolitical and strategic conflicts, not only regarding Russia, but also China, we also see more and more such political decisions of authorities in the future which have technology relevance, for example, in which hardware and software sovereignty is at stake. And this is also a political topic of high relevance in Germany at the moment. And the political tensions won't change here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us with your expertise. That is Dennis-Kenji Kipker, at the Bremen University of Applied Sciences.
You're welcome.